In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
I think putting her was a mistake in this group. Oh.
I think I might do a little stream tomorrow morning if I manage to finish the game tonight of just streaming all the various journals and the ancestors' introductions to all the bosses and stuff. They're kind of cool.
That's a good idea.
It's kind of nice just to have that on the internet for people who want to see it, but not necessarily watching the rest of it. Right, so we need to go back into the darkest dungeon. Long. Activate 3 iron crowns.
Oh, if you quit out to menu at all, make sure those trinkets are still equipped, the new ones. So I noticed if you go back to the menu, they unequip themselves, which is bad.
That's not optimal. Alright, so we're going to bring a letter. Plus 10% accuracy versus Eldritch is probably the better one to bring along here. Because everyone seems to be quite Eldritchy. So Renez, you're bringing along. And we're going to bring the secondary high wound of Vataville, because Disney has come along in the last mission. What have you got? Stress out versus humans. Hard northern, stun resistance, pretty decent. We need to bring along Vestal.
Yeah, let's just drop all those. We'll skip all those twice, we'll go back this way.
And we need to bring the Man-at-Arms, because the Man-at-Arms is going to interact with the gimmick. So for this revelation thing, is it like, did it just happen constantly throughout the fights, or is it only the bosses?
Yes. Well, bosses do it, but it happens throughout the fight constantly. They get 2 moves each. And,
right.
Pretty much
But
always.
what I mean is, like, the people I'll be encountering in corridors won't be using revelation.
No, only the bosses.
Okay. So that means I can still have the Man-at-Arms do some attacking from time to time.
Yeah. Okay, so my plan with my antiquarian in this group isn't really working at all. So, next go around I'll fix that. Especially now she's gone to Death's Door. So, yeah.
So the Man-at-Arms gets a shield that buffs his health and healing and stuff like that in position 4, but he only has 3 skills he can use in position 4.
Yes. Yeah, the whole point is just to guide people and buff people up if you do that with him. Like, and you just use him straight up as support. It's an interesting idea, but I don't really know how effective it is. But I thought about doing that myself for that dungeon, but in the end I didn't bother. I just put him in position 1 and just use other trinkets on him.
Because I'm thinking maybe I'll just have the Vestal in the 4th rank. Because I can give her the Prophet's Eye then, and make sure she doesn't miss if she has to stun people. Those things have had high stun resist in the previous mission, so... See, it's mostly just for the plus 50% healing, but then if you've got the trinket that's reducing damage, you might not necessarily need that. So yeah, let's actually put him rank 3. Put the Vestal rank 4.
Okay, yeah, the setup I did is not great in here. I'm not sure the low light is really working either.
Probably better just give her the healing skills though. Yeah, give her the healing.
I think I'd be better off with a cultist in this group. No, I've got the Vestal because I'm leveling the Vestal, of course. Oh, you know what? Why can't I camp? Why not let me camp in this room? Or maybe I messed up for taking that first. Ah, stupid.
Or give them an arms then.
Yes, can I interact with it first? Whatever.
Ancestors candle probably. Alright. This party looks fine. Ish. Kinda.
Oh no. To burn my torches. Get rid of the torches. There we go. I just noticed that the light in the controller goes to red when you burn out or remove all the light. That's kind of cool.
Hand of Gory. The left hand of some malefactor who died in the gallows made into a candle with the man's own fat. Right.
Nice.
What was that? The caretaker just flickered.
Ah, yeah. You're noticing things happening now.
Oh, I got no torches. God damn. I have to go drop something for torches, so. Yeah, we want more food and we want more torches. "16 torches will probably be enough for this, right? I mean, we got 2 camps to burn up our campfire again. It's not going to be enough, is it? You know, let's leave the holy water behind, because we don't normally use it for the debuffs anyway. Alright. Good luck.
The thing has no name, for it needs no language. Nevertheless, those who would submit to its wordless will are rewarded in a fashion. The creature's blessings are as repulsive as they are robust. Twisted, half-human monstrosities stalk the flesh-ridden halls, protecting their gestating god.
Right. A gestating god. That's nice.
Madness made flesh.
Ooh.
It crawls steadily upward from the pit, supported by the lattice of cyclopean pillars.
These corridors are a little bit messed up, Joe.
They certainly are, mate.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Obliterated. Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
I was really hoping it was on the heirlooms. So, what is this thing?
I still haven't found out what malignant growths do, and I still don't want to.
No, I'm not sure what some of those things do in that place, so I just murdered some things as much as possible.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Pretty close, buddy. Pretty close.
Exposed to a killing blow. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them
Okay, that's the goal.
all.
Oh, let's see the stagecoach. Let's look around that other vessel. Other man at arms. Other heavy. Right.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
Let's do what I was planning to do. Okay, where's my leper? Won't do damage.
Eradicated.
there. Majestikov.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Let's get the last first.
Well, that didn't go very well at all.
No.
Dismas has 1 health. Or not Dismas, sorry, Vatafil, the other guy.
Yeah. It's still not great though.
Not optimal.
This could work. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
I'm going to throw it a guess. This is probably one of those bosses you were talking about. It looks kind of like a scorpion, except a scorpion that's got a glowing red tail and a man at the front, and the claws have eyes.
Yeah. If it has 2 moves, then yeah, that's definitely it.
Yep.
That'll be one of the bosses.
Revelation. Yep, right enough. $10 damage per round, Blythe?
Yep. If you brought some holy waters, that would be pretty good to buff people up in those.
Bit late.
You didn't bring any, I guess.
I was like, I don't really use holy waters for anything.
Oh man, really? Like, I take them on every dungeon just to buff up like bosses and things.
I normally do, Joe. The problem here is with having 2 logs and 3 stupid hands of glory, I didn't have room to bring lots of food and lots of torches and lots of everything else.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair.
Decimated.
Well, that went pretty well. I point blank shot the boss and moved him back, and I was able to hew the other 2 things, so they're both dead. It's just him now.
That's good.
Ground quakes.
Of course, Dismas is still a hair's breadth from death, but you know, that's okay.
What did I just say? Shit. I just saw the tricky, I don't know what it was. I think it was my left mask. Yeah, there's a left mask up there that I never used. Okay. That's good.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it a guess here that if I didn't have my guys being guarded, that Revelation would probably do a lot of damage.
It does, yes. I think it does pretty much like half their health, and it just straight up adds like 50 stress damage. 40 stress actually, I think.
That's plenty of stress.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
A cry is heard. The creature squirms. Right, I'm going to throw out a guess here, Joe, that from the fact that I had 3 different directions I could go in from the start, there's probably one of these in each of the corners.
Yep, you might be right there.
So I probably want to backtrack instead of going down these other corridors, because that means I'll avoid fights.
Yes.
And then whenever I return to the central room, I should probably camp.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
I could use quarantine to reduce everyone's stress and then heal them up with wound care. That worked.
I really like that thing, but I'm not going to equip it for this.
The light, the promise of safety.
So I've got 30 odd food and plenty of torches. I should have bought more anti-venom and bandages.
How quickly the tide
bar once more.
turns.
Okay, let's go team. Let's give this short. I'll be right back.
Advantage. Give them no quarter. Well
Stop critting on me, please.
annihilated. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. A devastating blow. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Now go ahead and guess this dungeon's probably mirrored as well. So there'll be one in the bottom right to go and get.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Stop this. Okay.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born. The blood pumps. The limbs obey. This expedition at least promises success.
So there should be an altar inside this, if I'm guessing correctly. Hey look, an altar. Oh god, there's two of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you found that one.
Yeah, I gotta use tracking shot this time, I think. One of them has less health, and one of them has a different tail. He's a warlord.
If you manage to knock back the one at the front, that kind of helps stop an attack from one of them. I forget which. So they can only do it from one position, and they can't readjust themselves. So.
Okay. I use tracking shot in the first move though, because that'll help for the rest of the fight.
They do have high resistance though to movement, so it may not work, but it's worth a go nonetheless.
There's no point in trying to stun them either, because they've got so much stun resist, and they have two moves. So
yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this dungeon low light again. I'm not. I think I'll just go on normal light. Why not? It doesn't really seem to gain me much extra loot.
oh great, you blighted every single person in the group.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, this is an annoying setup. I think I've got a bad team. It's probably the stupidest plan I've ever had. But I think you'll be alright.
If I've guarded once, it lasts for 2 turns, right?
I think so, but I think spamming it every round is the best plan.
I was thinking that, but if I alternate between guard and riposting, I can get more damage out. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you can guard, then riposte or retribution, and then the guarding will help with the retribution riposting.
That's fair enough.
Compassion is a rarity in the fever
Why is...
pitch of
Oh
battle.
man. I should not have brought this festival.
Oh, yes! That's what I need. A crit for 51.
Their cursed
always
champion
good.
falls.
1 down.
Masterfully executed.
Yeah, getting my man at arms for retribution the last turn was definitely the right idea, because he's hit them for about 100 damage over the last turn.
That's not bad at all. I don't know why I chose to hit that one. It's probably a stupid move, but whatever. Honestly, I think this idea I had is really bad. I should have just gone extreme high damage and the antiquarian. We would have just had a lot easier time like every fight taking damage.
Probably.
Although I am actually trying to heal up, level up his Vestal, so that's why I'm doing it, I suppose. It's just kind of a dodgy gimmick right anyway.
Perhaps the turning point.
I have 2 of the altars lit.
Good, good.
I'm going to go ahead and throw a random guess out that the other one is at the top of the map.
That would probably make sense.
I mean, just the way that the map started off with me having 3 different cardinal directions to go, and it makes sense that there'd be one in each direction. Because otherwise there'd be no point in them letting you have the option to go up if there's nothing up there. Because that would just be, I believe the terminology is, a dick move.
Yeah. I can skip that room, that's okay.
And given that the first dungeon was essentially just go right to find boss, then I reckon that they're happy enough with the difficulty of the dungeon without having to resort to cheap tricks.
Okay, that's one of those big things this time.
We still have the bonuses from camping for one more fight though, so what we'll do is we'll try and go one more room before we camp. Make sure we have it for the last room with the boss.
Well, that's cheating at both turning up in stealth to begin with.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Why would you heal the one that didn't take any damage, game? Stupid object.
Can't hit him with that. Oh, that thing's got blight. Will it? 4 damage? It's on 3, okay, yep, good. Good, good, good. Actually, now I'm doing what I'm doing. This is actually working better this team.
I still don't really understand how these guys can eat their own arm to gain health back, but okay.
They eat their own arm to heal other people as well, which is the funnier part.
That makes more sense though, because at least there's some sort of blood magic going on there. Like, you know, here, have some of my blood, you'll feel better. But they're eating themselves to heal their own wounds.
To the task's end.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Alright, let's camp here.
A moment of respite. A chance
Yeah,
to
okay, now
steal
I've figured out how to
oneself
use the
against
group that I made properly. So the battles are going a bit better and faster.
I imagine it probably helps a little, yes.
Like, I didn't really kind of plan much. I just thought these guys would be pretty okay together and just slammed them in a group. Oh, I forgot what to be interacting with her. Actually, I don't really need to interact with her because I don't really care about the military bits.
So let's have that.
Why do I have Lordens? I don't have Lordens.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Also, the Outsiders bonfire has been really useful so far, Joe. Having the leper in my party to be able to get them to use both of their self-buff abilities for 4 fights is really useful.
Oh yeah, that's good, yeah. Yeah, I found leper's pretty useful. Well, I brought one to the last Darkest Dungeon, so
Could be left, could be up.
so he was
It's going to
pretty
be
good
up.
there. Another hunger check, really. Okay, I got all this food. Well, I'm low on food now though. But it's
Grand Guard. 33% prop. Alright.
Oh, well. I probably don't really need this Jester. Not now. People are more manageable levels for veteran. So I was bringing along like a rank 0 and rank 1 to veteran, so we just got stressed from the start.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough.
A decisive pummeling.
But I horror. Of course, now I throw away all my laudanum. Everyone gets hit by horror.
Yep.
I thought,
Oh wow, those defensive ghosts are really annoying. They can both shield and heal.
Yeah, they're kind of so.
I mean, on the plus side, they can't do much to hurt you, but they're still annoying.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Can't
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and guess the last thingamabob is inside this room to the north here.
I'll be honest though, having the horror on everyone doesn't really matter when my Jester heals like 21 stress every time he uses his ability.
Purpose is made
So
clear.
it's like not a big problem.
No, it seems like it'd probably be pretty decent.
I'm gonna try something.
Hey look, a boss. What the hell are you little guys? You're like little horrible mammoths. Flesh hounds.
Yeah, welcome to the new dogs. Okay, so you can only guard one person at a time. That's fine.
A singular strike.
I kind of want to make a gimmick party now. That's just 2 mana arms and my antiquarian, and then probably a healer. Like, we won't do a lot of damage, but we'll just be costing everything when we just guard up the two in the back row.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, there'd be nothing else they could. They won't be able to attack anything that isn't a riposte.
Yeah. So I can just use my antiquarian to constantly do a guard move on one of them. So that means one of the mana arms can just keep attacking whenever his riposte doesn't need to be refreshed.
The slow death.
Because like, I need the antiquarian because, you know, I'm going for heirlooms, so just keep antiquarian all the time, as much as possible.
Does antiquarian affect heirlooms? I thought it was just a case of it gives you more cash.
I don't know, to be honest.
I think the antiquarians,
they
they give you more gold in a stack, and you get the little relics that you sell for cash, and that's the only thing they affect, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know, I always seem to get more heirlooms when I have one with me. But, you know, it could be confirmation bias. I don't really know for sure. I should actually look it up because if I don't need one for heading hunting, then I'll just take a part of it and obliterate things faster. But we'll see. I'll look it up after this dungeon.
Good plan.
And I bought an improved drop rate and things like that, particularly in like the end of fight screens. But, you know.
Could just be the benefits of a cartographer's camp.
The bigger the beast,
Could be.
the greater
Could
the
be.
glory.
Well, that was not too bad at all, that one.
That's good because that one's pretty much the hardest one. The next one is just big, basically.
The
Because like
maniacal
those bosses you
occultists
come
are
across in there,
quelled
they're
for a
like
time,
really nasty
but there
things.
can be no
If you let them get under
celebration.
control.
Your progress is measured only in progressive realization and dawning horror. You are in the shadow.
You know what I
of
want to
the
do,
end.
CJ? 2 man-at-arms, 2 highwaymen, all riposte all the time.
Yeah, but then the man-at-arms don't have to guard. You can just have everyone always
Yeah.
repulse him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'll just do that, and I'll have the man-at-arms just guard each other for pointlessness.
You
Well,
need
they
to make
just
sure
do
you have
territory.
the man-at-arms in the front 2 rows then, because Joe's advance can't
Yeah.
be used in the front row, and the man-at-arms riposte can't be used in the back row.
Yeah, but remember, man-at-arms also have a attack move that moves them forward, so we can just bounce around all over the place. Like, it could work. It could be an interesting gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, like, it could definitely work. I'll give it that.
I mean, it might not work so good on champions, say, but you know, while I'm just messing around on veteran a lot, getting loot, because I may as well. With these lower level people that I'm leveling up. And I quite like man-at-arms, I just don't use them enough. They're great because they're big boss, you know.
Yeah. Right, the three of the people I'm taking along to the last mission are going in to get some last quirks removed before I do the 3rd Darkest Dungeon. Times 4,
Oh, didn't I?
exhausting.
Yeah, welcome to the new gimmick for this one.
Well, I'm going to restart the stream for the 3rd episode, so we'll come back to it in a moment. Exhausting.